I know it's cliche, but I truly believe in the saying that sales cures all, especially in an agency environment. And I'm saying this as someone who has built a retention marketing agency and has been obsessed with reducing client churn in the past. Let me explain why I believe it's a much more powerful lever to focus on acquisition as it is to worrying about retention and client churn. So number one, a lot of churn is just outside of your control. And this is especially true if you are providing a siloed marketing service, for example, email marketing. Essentially, the success of you depends on the acquisition efforts of the business. So more people coming in at the top of the funnel profitably, more email revenue you're going to generate on the back end. And it doesn't really matter how effective of a marketer you are, your success is intrinsically tied to the product market fit of that business, as well as the business owner's organizational skills and unit economics, just lots of things that you don't have input on. So excessively worrying about churn in a context like this is just something that's out of your control and is only going to hold you back growing your business, because ultimately you can't fix fundamental problems with a bad business. Your job is to provide an individual service and do it to the best of your ability. But a lot of things are just out of your control, but it will still have an impact on you regardless. The second factor is I just believe acquisition is a more powerful lever than retention. As an example, if you're able to consistently generate 2 leads and close 2 sales every single month and you lose 1 client, then ultimately in the long term, you're going to win and you're going to generate more profits. Now, it might not be the best thing for company culture and morale, and I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't put any emphasis on delivering a great quality service. But as I've just mentioned in my previous points, a lot of churn is just outside of your control, whereas you have much more control over your destiny if you're able to focus on building a really strong pipeline of consistent leads and sales from different partners and avenues. So instead, I believe that you should focus the overwhelming majority of your efforts on finding these people. So yes, definitely have a great quality service, something you should be really proud and passionate about already. I assume that's why you started to build a service and a business around this, but understand that if you're trying to run a profitable business, then it makes much more sense economically to invest more in building that really strong pipeline and multiple sources of leads and sales for your business, because ultimately, as I've already covered, a lot of churn is outside of your control, and having a really strong pipeline and people consistently coming in will allow you to mitigate that churn and the problems that it's going to cause you. It also gives you a great sense of perspective as well. Trust me, when you're so obsessed with client retention, you really start to feel anxiety and it skews your decision making. When you have a lot of people coming in and sales and leads being generated, it gives you a perspective on your business and a control of power that allows you to make sensible, rational decision making. You can't do that from a place of vulnerability. So if you are in a position where you really are dependent on retaining individual clients, your business is built upon brittle foundations. Get back to generating leads and closing sales. Trust me, it will give you a sense of perspective that will help move the needle in your business. The third piece of advice I have to give you is just never stop selling. Never switch off the marketing or sales engine, because trust me, you don't know what problems are around the corner. It could be an individual business or a cluster of them start to perform really badly, like we've seen in e-commerce after COVID. A lot of these factors are just out of your control. It could be that technology is coming and it's going to disrupt your industry. And in both scenarios, having a really strong pipeline will again offset some of these worries and problems that you have. So when you do get to capacity and you think you've optimized the profitability of your business and you're feeling really content, in my experience, that's when danger is around the corner. So one of the fundamental beliefs I always have is that you should always be focused on generating leads and closing new deals. Doesn't mean you should take people on that you can't service, but just make sure that you have people chomping at the bit who want to work with you. It will put you in a much better position of strength when the time is right. Hopefully you found that advice practical. Ultimately, business, a lot of it is just out of your control when you're providing client services. What is in your control is generating leads and closing sales. So yes, focus on delivering an amazing quality service. I would never dispute that, because that's how you grow a business at the end of the day. But in order to do a service-based business successfully, you need consistent lead flow from multiple partners and angles. So never forget this, and trust me, never stop selling.